everyone to another edition of the Undercard. As always, I'm your host Jeff Botello, and today we are going to be doing a fight breakdown of a UFC Vegas, Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus a Surreal Agan. Well, unfortunately, this event got hit by COVID on Thursday, and we lost two events that I was personally looking forward to. We lost the rubber match between Angela Hill and Ashley Yoder. Unfortunately, one of the cornermen in Yoder's team tested positive for COVID, so that match will get rebooked here hopefully shortly. Hopefully it'll be a quick turnaround. As well as we lost the this for me was the event to watch, and I was so heartbroken when I found out that Manfield had tested positive for COVID, and this one was set to be a banger. This one was going to be a very, very fun one. Fingers crossed that we can get this back in a couple of weeks. And, what a very disappointing turn of events. Well, for me at least, this would have really helped launch that card up to the next stratosphere there. I know a lot of people were a little bit disappointed with the way the heavyweight fight turned out, but I think that's just to do with the heavyweights. It's kind of a heavyweight curse, right? Like, you're expected to put on a flashy show. People are expecting knockouts when you're the big boys, right? So when it goes the distance, there's your average fan's going to be disappointed, which I understand. Dana White was a little bit disappointed right off the bat. He said that pretty much this was Surreal Agan's coming out party, and that's all he did was win. I mean, that's not word for word exactly what he said. That's just a brief summary of what he had said. But you kind of get that Dana was disappointed at how this one turned out. But it's not to say that this card wasn't, as promised as I had mentioned before. There was a couple of great fights on this one. The co-main event between, I always get these fighters' names brutally mixed up here. Kirillov and Magomedov, Magomedov and Nikita Krylov. That was a hell of a scrap between those two gentlemen. The Montana De La Rose and the Bruno Silva one, that was another great scrap. The fight of the night for me was definitely the Pedro Munoz and Jimmy Rivera fight. That one was, as I said, as promised, they were going to put on a show, and that one went to the distance, and it was a very, very fast-paced fight between those two gentlemen. As well as the Caceres-Krum fight was a half-decent one to watch. As I had said, we had lost the Angela Hill-Yoder one on the main card, and the prelims. The prelims opened up with a bang, and that Jacobi versus Grisham fight, as I had said, was going to be a striking battle between these two gentlemen, and it was a fun scrap. Same with the Thiago Moyesis versus Hernandez fight. That was another great scrap. I mean, even Ashley Davis ended up surprising me in the undercard as well, and she had a great outing after being nearly off for 2 years. So impressive return for Davis. Like I said, all in all, I thought this was a great card, and we were just like, getting that close to having it be like one of these epic legendary cards, right? And that being said, let's get into the first fight of the night, and that was against Dustin Jacoby versus Maxime Grisham. This one went the distance. Great striking in this one. Lots of back and forth. It just seemed Grisham waited a little too long to get going in this one. I gave Jacoby the first 2 rounds in this one, and Grisham definitely had the third round. And this one turned out to be a slugfest. Turned out to be a kickboxing match. I had a feeling that this could have turned out to be this kind of a fight. It's a little disappointing to see Grisham not using his full skill set and getting into a dogfight like that. You would kind of expect him to be a little bit more of a savvy vet at this point in his career, but I guess that's also the reason as to why he is opening up a UFC card instead of being on the main card, right? That being said, though, I would like to see Grisham again. He showed that he's got good spirit. Like I says, he's got good solid striking. He's got overall good ground game as well, even though he didn't really use it too much in this one. But needless to say, a very entertaining fighter. Grisham thought he won this one. He was a little bit bewildered at the end that this one went to Dustin. Like I says, I thought this one was clearly 2-1 in Dustin's favor. As for my predictions, I thought Grisham would have ended up using his full skill set. I thought if he was losing the striking battle after the first round, that he would have switched it up a little bit and looked to take Jacoby to the ground. Unfortunately, that was not the game plan. Clearly, he thought that he was winning the striking battle after the first and second round. So, decent win by Jacoby. We're curious to see exactly when we're going to see him fight again. Both men took a fair bit of damage, so, I'd be super surprised if these guys had a quick turnaround. But great fight by these two guys, and it was a fun way for the UFC to open up the night. The second fight was in the bantamweight division. This one was a fighter that we hadn't seen in a while. Ronnie Lawrence. He, I believe, he won the Contender Series. He won the Contender Series, won his fight in the Contender Series. I don't know. I don't watch too much of the Contender Series, to be honest with you. But I know that he is a Contender Series prospect. He has been out for a little bit. I believed he had ended up injuring his knee. So it's been a couple years since we've seen him in the ring. But, as promised, this kid had tremendous takedown skills. As I mentioned, he is a very talented ground fighter, and that was on full display on Saturday night. He had takedown over takedown. Poor Vince Cachero, he showed a lot of heart, showed that he had some decent striking ability, but he had no answer for the takedowns of Lawrence. Lawrence just executed a flawless game plan. The one thing that I did notice is the pace at which Lawrence can put on is so impressive. It's so scary. It's very exciting to see the new future of the UFC and what it's becoming. These guys are tremendous athletes, and it shows that when these guys start working with some of the best people out there, and what I'm talking about is like personal trainers, strength and conditioning, nutritionists, you know, everything that, like, we're getting a better and better athlete all the time in the UFC. It is a thing of beauty to watch. It's so impressive. If you've been a fan of this sport from the early get-go, you have seen the progression of this sport from styles to an actual blending of MMA to now seeing, you know, like freak athletes coming in here and just coming in with all kinds of skill. And you know, Lawrence is part of that new crop that's out there. I would say that we're probably on like our 4th or 5th generation of fighters, you know, like after the Rory McDonald, you know, Rory McDonald was kind of the new generation, you know, a kid that knew everything, not just one skill, but a blend of absolutely everything. And that's what, you know, this sport is, you know, that's what it's in the name. It is mixed martial arts, right? So you need to have every goddamn skill. It's not enough to just rely on one thing, because you will get caught in here, that's for sure. Now, this one ended in the 3rd round. It was a TKO stoppage. I mean, the ref could have stopped this one a little bit early from what I had saw on the ground, but he also gave Vince Cachero all the opportunity in the world to continue fighting. Maybe a little bit too much of an opportunity to continue fighting. But, you know, tough kid. Tough loss. You know, you wonder exactly what will be next for Vince. You know, he is not the youngest. He is on the wrong side of 30, right? It's unfortunate, but you know, he's definitely going to have to work on them takedown skills and that cardio and conditioning. He might be better suited to jump up in a weight class instead of cutting all that weight down to the bantamweight divisions. He did look absolutely huge for this fight. I mean, easily, I think he does a lot better at the 145. The way that he was just getting handled by Lawrence, you know, clearly it's the cardio is the issue in that one. So hopefully Alex will bump up in weight here. Hopefully we'll see him in the lightweight division, or flyweight division, I guess. Flyweight being 145, right? Bantamweight 135. And maybe it'll serve him a lot better in the long run. As for Lawrence, you know, that kid is pure dynamite. If you don't know who Ronnie Lawrence is, make sure to circle that name. This kid has got a bright future. He has got a tremendous gas tank, exciting young prospect, works really hard, amazing ground skills. Clearly I would like to see him continue to improve his striking game, but he's no slouch there either. But yeah, that's one kid that I will definitely keep an eye out for. And as for my picks, I did pick Lawrence to win this one, and I thought this one was probably going to go to the decision, but he ended up getting the stoppage, so pleased with that. Now, this next fight was between Alexa Davis versus Sabina Mazzo, and you know, clearly this one came to bite me in the ass. I had thought that being away from the ring as long as Alexa had been was going to be detrimental to her. I mean, we're talking about almost a 2-year layoff in which we had not seen her in the octagon, and in that time, her opponent Sabine, I believe she had 3 or 4 fights in that time scale. So clearly, of the two, you know, one would suggest that things are in the favor of Sabine, but it's starting to show that maybe for these older fighters that some time off might do you some good. Clearly, the reset did Davis very well. She was previously riding a 3-fight losing streak, but she looked absolutely amazing out there. She was able to take Sabine down to the ground and control her at will there, take her back, sink in them hooks. She wasn't able to really finish or have her way with her at all. As I had mentioned, Sabine does have a good ground game, good ground defense. She even had a submission win, I believe, in her last fight. I just thought, like I had mentioned, that this was more so a fight for Sabine to lose, and she just was not able to use that striking game effectively in that range. Maybe some of you did not notice this, but Davis kind of drew her in with the leg kicks and was throwing kicks of her own to initiate kicks coming back her way so that she could shoot for a single, right, and take Sabine to the ground, which just goes to show you the savvy ring vet that Alexa is. I did say that if Sabine was not careful and this went to the ground, that this was going to be a long night, and I'm surprised that Sabine kind of fell into those traps, to be honest with you. I thought, like I had mentioned, that if she had stayed on her feet, she was going to cruise to a easy victory. She did manage to beat up Alexa a little bit, but not too bad at all. Alexa looked great in this one. Cardio looked great in this one. Alexa looked absolutely massive for this division, and Alexa's been in there with the who's who of the women of this sport, right? So I should have known a lot better than to count Alexa Davis out of this fight. And, I had said it that I hate to bet against a Canadian, but I honestly did think the way Sabine fought in her last couple of fights that she was going to come out there and easily handle Alexa. And I was absolutely wrong, and it was the other way around. Alexa kind of came in and as soon as she got Sabine to the ground, it seemed like her confidence grew, and she was in full control of that fight. Impressive win by Alexa Davis. I'm glad to say that I got this fight wrong, and hopefully we can see Alexa fight at least one more time this year. It's got to be disappointing for Sabina. This was a tough L to take, but a very good learning experience, right? And she will need to work a little bit better on the game planning, I think so, and not get into these traps that are set by crafty vets. But impressive win by Alexa Davis, that's for sure. All right, this next one was a very fun battle in the lightweight division. This one was Alexander Hernandez versus Thiago Moyesis. Now, as mentioned, Thiago Moyesis is a ground fighter. He is a top world-class submission expert, and he was facing off a guy that has some good ground skills. He's primarily a wrestler, but he's got some good boxing skills. And in fact, I thought his boxing skills were going to shine in this one, as I had originally thought Thiago Moyesis was going to have a hard time trying to take this fight to the ground. And, shockingly, this fight did not go to the ground at all. This one stayed on the feet the whole time. This one was a great striking battle between these two gentlemen. I I'm absolutely shocked and stunned at how much of a complete fighter Thiago has become. His hands are getting better and better. I thought he was going to be tough in this match. I honestly thought that as this fight went on and on, that this was going to favor Hernandez. But, Hernandez just looked slower of the two men out there. And Thiago was so quick, so fast. He looked solid, strong in there. He was in absolute, complete control of that one. I believe he won the decision on that one. I can't wait to see what's next for this kid. This kid hopefully will have a quick turnaround. He didn't really take much damage in that one. Hernandez got a little tagged in that one, didn't take up too much damage. Like I said, I don't think Thiago has got the KO power in his hands, but he is putting together a impressive striking resume, and his hands are quick, and I'm sure that power will be coming behind it. He is kind of a relative newbie when it comes to the striking. I mean, like, not relative newbie, but he's a good striker. He's not a great striker, and he's not a world-class striker yet. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely got more area to grow and improve. But wow, that kid is dynamite. I mean, I unfortunately picked against him in this fight, and I don't think I will be doing that anytime soon. Holy smokes, this one was so fast paced. It was such an exciting fight, and I thought it was going to be a good one. I just didn't expect it to be this good. I mean, wow. Thiago, he throws kicks, he throws good combos, and to see his confidence grow as those rounds kept going and going, it was a thing of beauty. That man was in the zone, and wow, what a great fight, and what a great way to close out the prelims. All right, so now we work our way on into the main card, and to open up the main card, it was Alex Caceres versus Kevin Kroom, and this one was a entertaining fight, a little back and forth. I think Kroom kind of went out there and blew his gas tank in the first round, and really brought the fight to Alex Caceres, but Caceres was able to weather the storm, and Caceres is really starting to show that he is putting things together in his MMA career, and hopefully he can continue this trend. I was a big fan of his when he was in the Ultimate Fighter. I believe it was season 12. He's got a good body frame. He's got a good attitude, and he's a very fun, entertaining fighter. He's not going to wow you with any KO power or anything like that, but he will put on a tremendous display of skill out there. He will get you to chasing him and be moving, so you have to be aware of your gas tank when fighting a guy like Caceres, because if you do end up chasing him around the ring, you will tire out, right? And Caceres said that he knows that everyone that kind of game plans for him, they game plan to take him to the ground, because that's where they all feel that he is the weakest. And he's showing that he is getting a little bit better. He may not have the greatest skills on the ground. In fact, I believe it was was it in the second or in the third there? He had Kroom in a very very nasty triangle choke, and it was like full in, arm in, head down. It looked like it was sunk. It looked like Kroom could not posture up, and unfortunately, Alex said that his legs gave out, right? And props to him too. Instead of just trying to hang on to that and hope that you're going to get that submission, that you just give it up and you don't burn yourself out too, right? So as I had mentioned in my previous show, that of the two fighters, the reason that I like Caceres in this fight is the fact that Caceres has fought some of the bigger names in this division, and he has taken a couple of L's, he's got a couple of wins, but he has got that upper echelon of competition in his repertoire, and that is something that Kroom has been lacking thus far in his career, are those big names, For as well of a career as Kroom has had, he unfortunately has not had a chance to taste the upper echelon or even the UFC at all. In fact, I think this is only his second fight in the UFC, so he's a journeyman, and unfortunately, it might be a little bit too late to try and break into the UFC at this point. But you never know. You could go back to the drawing board, retool a few things, and figure it all out. I mean, clearly with some conditioning and some strength training, some cardio training, you can make these improvements, right? It's all about will, perseverance, and that dedication. But as I said, entertaining fight. I was glad Alex won. Hopefully he will get a ranked opponent here next. He hasn't fought anybody ranked thus far in his career. But I did pick Caceres to win this one, and I did say that this one was going to be a decision, and it turned out to be that way. All right, so this next one was a fight that I was originally looking forward to a couple of weeks ago, and this one was in the bantamweight division. This was Pedro Munoz versus Jimmy Rivera, and I want to apologize because in my last episode I kept referring to Rivera as Jaime Rivera for whatever reason. Apparently I am just a racist fuck, and I just looked at the Rivera last name and just assumed that it was a Jaime instead of a Jimmy, I absolutely apologize. My bad, brother. This one was a one that, well, first off, this one was a absolute barn burner fight of the night for sure. I mean, from start to finish, this one was just fireworks. I mean, a lot of back and forth between these two men. These guys were trading a lot. I think the big tail of the tape in this one was the calf kick. That calf kick, keep talking about it here recently, that is becoming a staple, and people are going to have to figure this one out, right? The calf kicks are becoming a problem for a lot of fighters, and clearly at the end of the first round, when the cameraman cut to the corner of Jimmy Rivera, you could see that they were swelling, that they were putting ice on that swelled up calf leg of his, and even Rivera was asking his corner, what do I do, how do I move, how do I avoid these, right? My leg is killing me, I can't feel anything, right? And it really crippled his ability to move in this one, as he looked to be stiff. Now, this was a rubber match between these two gentlemen, with Rivera winning the first one, and it was another fast-paced sport like this, lots of action. I don't recall, but do think that Munoz was stopped in that one. I could be wrong though. But I mean, he definitely came out guns a-blazing in this one, and he definitely wanted to get that one back. And Rivera is just one tough son of a bitch. I can't believe that he took all that damage, and he really, for all the most part, did not switch his stance. He still kept that lead leg out, and ate a couple more shots. And just tough individual. He's big for that bantamweight division. Just a huge man. He's another guy that I wonder if he benefits by moving up to the 145-pound class. But I would like to see these two fight again soon. I mean, what a war! I think these guys deserve their own card for sure, right? I want to see a 5-round war between these two gentlemen. I mean, I don't know if Jaime's see, there I go again. I don't know if Jimmy's leg is going to be able to withstand a 5-round war against Munoz, but you never know, right? Things always change, and it would be a fun fight. In fact, out of all the trilogies that you can make out there right now, this would be the one that would be at the absolute top of my list, for sure. All right, this next one was in the women's flyweight division, and this one was another fun fight, and I really didn't expect it to kind of go like this, and I was a little bit shocked at how it all played out. This one was in the women's flyweight division. This was Montana De La Rose versus Mayra Bruna Silva, and I honestly did think Bruna Silva did win this fight. However, her grabbing the fence there really kind of like screwed her. She did get that point deduction, and this one ended up being a draw. I mean, for the most part, Silva did work Montana over. I did say out of the two women, Silva has the better striking capability. I thought that Silva did have the better of the ground game, and I honestly did think that she dominated the fight. For me, myself, I had her winning this one, unanimous decision. But I guess there's argument to say that Del Rose did win the first round there, I guess, right? I like to see these two women kind of run it back. I really don't like seeing fights kind of end on a draw. It's a shitty conclusion to a fight. And I don't really remember if there was like a hard warning issued, right? And if it was that big of a problem, I was a little bit under the weather while this event was going on. So my memory's not 100%. But like I had mentioned, I don't remember that there was a hard warning. That point deduction. I mean, clearly there had to be something to warrant that, right? So it just it really screwed Silva over, right? She should be sitting at a 8-1 record, and instead it's 7-1-1, right? But as we saw in the ring, she has a great striking ability. She's got great ground game, and she's going to be a problem in that women's division for quite some time. Like I said, she trains out of that Shootbox Academy, and that Shootbox Academy is deadly, right? They've got the best strikers on the planet. They've got great solid ground game, and they pretty much use that ground game to get back up to their feet, right? So You know, there's definitely no slouch. As soon as you see a fighter that's attached to the shoot box, put money on them. It's always a good bet, that's for sure. All right, that being said, we are now into the co-main event, and this one was in the light heavyweight division between Nikolai Kirillov versus Magomed Ankalaev. And, wow. You know, Kirillov is definitely no slouch by any means. This man is a veteran MMA fighter. He's got the full gambit of skills. I mean, he has quite the impressive record. He was 27-7 going into Saturday's match. But, you know, Magomed is one of those Dagestani boys, right? He is a beast of a man. His cardio is getting better, right? He looked to be in better shape. You know, great striking, great wrestling. There is just nothing Magomedov cannot do, right? You know, it's a great win for him. Great way to put some more shine on his name. You know, clearly we're going to have to see some sort of ranking, hopefully on Monday here. You know, as for who does he fight next, you know, maybe nobody in the top. Yeah, maybe, you know, somebody in the top 10, maybe, right? You know, somebody between like the 12 and 8 region, maybe. See exactly, right? They want to rush this kid to stardom, right? So let's see what he's got, right? I'm down. I mean, with a performance like that, why wouldn't you want to see the kid again, right? It was a good little slugfest, a lot of back and forth between these two, but in the end, Magomedov is just so impressive, you know? Good striking, amazing wrestling, and just these Dagestani boys. It's just so terrifying. You know, what a great program out there. I believe Magomedov, he comes to train with Extreme Couture. I could be wrong, but great prospect. If you guys aren't already have this guy on your radar, definitely want to keep an eye out for him. He is going to be a tear in this lightweight division for quite some time. Hopefully we'll get to see him scrap at least one more time this year. It's unfortunate for Kirillov that you know, things didn't work out his way, but that's unfortunately the fight game, and it just seemed he lost to the younger opponent, to be honest with you. You know, Magomedov just looked to be the faster of the two, and you know, what a dominant performance by Magomedov. What I mean, just tremendous. This kid is going to be whew. Like, I can't wait to see this kid get into the mix, you know, and be fighting the top guys there in the light heavyweight division, right? I mean, the Whitakers, right? The Paulo Costas, or sorry, that's the middleweight division. Sorry, the lightweight would be like, I want to see him tangle it up with the Jan Blachowicz, blah blah blah. I can't say his name, and Jan Reyes, you know, guys like that. I'm curious to see exactly how he holds up against the upper echelon, right? You know, Alex Smith, right? Glover Teixeira's. These are some of the guys that hopefully we'll get to see him fight within the next couple of years, right? Should be very interesting. And the light heavyweight division has got some killers coming up. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, I picked Magomedov to win that one for sure. I wasn't going to bet against the Vegas odds makers on that one. And this takes us now to the main event. Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Surreal Gun. Now, I know a lot of people right away thought this one was a snooze fest, and yeah, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but let me give you another perspective. You know, everyone was expecting Surreal to come out and lay the smackdown on Jairzinho Rozenstruik. What most people don't understand is that even though Jairzinho is only 11-1 in his UFC, the man has got, I believe, over 100 kickboxing matches. He also has fought professional as a boxer. So, of the two men, I mean, his experience is not just that of more. Is not just MMA experience more so than his opponent Surreal, but he has just got more fighting experience than Surreal. Surreal's very young into his MMA career. He was 7-0 after Saturday night. He's now 8-0. But in that fight, Surreal needs to go and protect that undefeated record. Right? He's still young. He's still learning. It's not really on him to push the pace of that one. Of the two fighters, the one that really needed to push the pace was Jairzinho. If Jairzinho would have really looked to make a statement in that one and put Gane to sleep, we would have seen Jairzinho I think definitely would have been the next in line for a title shot, right? In my mind, if Rozenstruik wins that fight and he knocks out Gane, then I would have thought John Jones fights next for the belt. Winner of that takes on Rozenstruik, right? Because I think with a knockout over Gane is a bigger victory than it's weird to say it, but I think it's almost a bigger victory than Lewis knocking out Curtis Blades, right? And I know it's a messed up thing to say, right? You know, here you have a guy who is a number one contender in Curtis Blades, and he just got knocked out by, I believe, a number 4, right? Derek Lewis, right? So clearly, you would throw and put Lewis up there, right? I guess you could say that even if, let's say, Rozenstruik in this fictitious reality wins, right? Then you would have him versus Lewis, I guess. You could argue that one, or you could argue that he's just that much more ahead of Lewis because of the bigger name that he knocked out in that prospect, right? And sometimes when you knock out somebody with a big name on it, and that's got young excitement, that's enough to put you over the top in the UFC right now. And it's just strange because, as I said, it's you would think that win over number 1 would put you the number 1, but unfortunately it's about reputation, and Blades doesn't have the most exciting reputation, even though for me, I've got no qualms about his style at all. I think it's a solid way to make a career in the UFC. I know it's not the most fan friendly and everybody hates it, but as somebody that's got to go into the cage and get punched in the face, it's a great way to go about it and make a living, let me tell you. But at the same time too, that kind of bites your ass and bites you in the ass and kind of hurts your stock, right? However, unfortunately, Rozenstruik just did nothing with it, so he missed his opportunity to really kind of like put the spotlight back on him, and that's what makes this heavyweight division right now so exciting. And, unfortunately, I'd say that Surreal's also kind of missed his opportunity too here. And, Dana White was setting him up as this was going to be his come-out party. After the fights, Dana was asked about his feelings on this one. And, he said that this was supposed to be Gon's come-out party, but unfortunately, he just got the win, and that's all. So clearly disappointment there from the boss. But at the same time too, he's not wrong, because had Gon went out there and got a knockout victory, then I'm thinking we are looking at a Surreal versus Derek fight, and that would have been super exciting. But with the way that played out, I think now we're going to see Surreal versus Vulcan, right? I think that one sets it up. I think now Derek Lewis, unfortunately, is going to be on the shelf, sitting there waiting for the winner of whoever John Jones is going to face off, right? It's I'm a little disappointed, but we might not get to see Derek Lewis until next year, unfortunately, folks. And that'll be a crying shame. Hopefully that will not be the scenario, but there are a lot of young prospects in this heavyweight division that, we can keep an eye out for in the meantime. I did pick Surreal to win this one. I thought he did have the all the skills in the world to, if he wanted to go and point this one out like he did, then he was capable of doing that. Like I had mentioned, he has got the complete gambit of skills. He is not only just a striker, but he is a grappler, he is a kickboxer, he is, he's got submissions, he is a complete fighter. And he wasn't the most impressed by his performance, but at the same time too, these guys did trade paint early, and it looked like they felt each other's power and kind of toned it down just a little bit, and they weren't as eager to headhunt one another after they got the feel of each other's strength. However, I thought, in my opinion, it was an okay fight. It wasn't the most exciting thing, but at the same time too, with the heavyweights, it just could be like that, and then someone's out, right? So it is what it is. It wasn't the most sexiest fight, but it was a good UFC card nonetheless. As I mentioned before, I was greatly disappointed that we didn't get to see Alonzo Manfield versus William Knight. I thought that one would have been a absolute fireworks maker for sure. I didn't think that one was going to go past like the 2-3 minute mark of the first round, to be honest with you. Hopefully that one can get rescheduled here ASAP. If that's on the free card, make sure to like circle that one down on the calendar. It's definitely going to be worth it, that's for sure. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Undercard Breakdown, and we will be going over that's right, the craziness of this weekend. We've got 3 championship fights, and it is going to be hype, but we will be covering that on a Wednesday, everyone. All right, take her easy. Peace.